MLB's most thrilling moments. Check out MLB.com/Pepsi. By Lexus, introducing a car designed with one purpose, to stand apart. The 2014 Lexus IS. It's your move. By Citi, every time the Mets hit a home run at Citi Field, Citi will make a $2,000 donation to a local community partner, courtesy of the Citi Thank You Home Runs for Community program. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. Get to Citi Field this Sunday for Family Sunday when the Mets take on the Phillies at 1:10 p.m. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Mets lunch cooler bag, courtesy of Geico. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Family Sundays. Here's tonight's AT&T fan photo, an early appearance for the fan photo tonight, and what an appearance! First Mets game. Look at those eyes.
And the kid is smiling,
loving every minute of it. But a lot to love in Jacob deGrom's rookie season in the major leagues. His 18th start tonight, looking for his 7th win. He is ready to go, and so are we. First pitch coming up from Citi Field. Goes Valor Program, a select group of employees who are military veterans or active duty service members, are being honored on the field, meeting the players. It's a nice moment. Nice moment for Dilson Herrera. That's the first fan that he's gotten to meet in his tenure as a big leaguer. Hyundai starting lineup for the Phillies tonight. It is the usual bunch. Rollins, Utley, Howard, Bird, Sizemore, Ruiz. 6 consecutive players in that Phillies lineup were signed in 2001 or earlier. It is a veteran lineup. We know that. Jacob deGrom, a rookie pitcher, facing the Phillies for the second time.
Well, Caesar's numbers will tell you that his record is even, but his last 10 starts, 6-2 with a 2.34 ERA.
First time he faced the Phillies, he struck out a career high 11. That was back on the 31st of May. Ben Revere leads things off for the Phillies. Revere second in the National League with that .310 batting average. Toughest man to strike out in the league. Revere, Rollins, and Utley against deGrom. First pitch of the night, a fastball taken high, and we're underway. The Phillies just come from home where they swept a 3-game series from the first place Nationals the last 3 days. And so as a consequence, the Phillies find themselves just a half game behind the Mets in the standings.
They were 7-2 in that 9-game homestand.
So they're playing better under Ryan Sandberg these last few days than they have for most of the year. Revere slaps one foul, and DeGrom ahead of the count 1-2.
We'll keep a close eye on DeGrom, folks, this outing. The last outing was a little bit rusty in Los Angeles. Really, the numbers weren't as bad. He gave up the 5 runs, a 3-run home run late to Adrian Gonzalez, but he was up in the strike zone, something he rarely does or has done this year.
1-2 coming to Revere, and he lays off the curveball. 2-2. Jacob making his 18th start. Before he went on the disabled list in his 9 starts prior, 6-1, 1.82. That's the kind of role he was on, and it put him right in the middle of the conversation for National League Rookie of the Year honors. Right back to DeGrom, and the former shortstop handles it with aplomb for the first out.
Take a look at the Metropolitan Coors Light. It's the home team, Keith. Lexus defense. Dendecker out in left field. Of course, Lagares patrolling superbly out there in center. We don't talk about him. Everybody knows about him. And Dilson Herrera, of course, is the big news today. Called up from Double-A. Part of that trade that was John Buck and Marlon Byrd of the Pirates that brought Vic Black. And this young man.
Now, he's not a big guy. He's only 5'10". He's listed 150, probably a little more than that. But his picture on our defense was bigger than everybody else's. Because he's the big story tonight.
It's his day. He reminds me body style a little bit of a little slenderer. That's a word. The Anderson Hernandez. Do you remember when he came from the Mets? That kind of body.
How about Jimmy Rollins? That kind of physique.
Go.
Rollins takes outside, a ball and a strike. Well, Herrera started his year playing for Single-A Port St. Lucie, then got the promotion to Double-A Binghamton. Popped up foul, and this surprised me when I read this, but Dilson Herrera is the first Met ever, first position player ever for the Mets in their history to begin the year in Single-A and make it to the big leagues that same season.
It's a big jump from Double-A, obviously, and to start the year at A-ball is even more phenomenal. That's leaps and bounds, scaling tall buildings.
And DeGrom blows away Rollins. 96-mile-an-hour fastball for his first strikeout. 2 down.
Nothing better than having that weapon that you can just throw the ball, at least in the first couple of innings, right by some hitters. That's what DeGrom did right there. Cholula right off the bat.
An early Cholula. That one's worthy of the green pepper sauce. So 2 out and nobody on. Now Chase Utley. With the Phillies having a good homestand, Utley did not. Just 5 for 33 on their recently completed homestand. But Utley having a fine year, hitting at .279, and he takes a strike. And early on, Keith, it does appear as though DeGrom's getting that ball down better.
He's throwing hard too, and I always love the fact that he likes to throw his fastball. He's not afraid. And Ron, at the game in Los Angeles, which I thought was really impressive, the most impressive thing about DeGrom's outing, after he gave up the 3-run home run that made it 5-1. It was a tight ball game. He had Matt Kemp come up, struck him out quickly, went out the next inning, 1, 2, 3 quickly with 2 strikeouts. I like that.
Didn't get his dauber down when he gave up the 3-run bomb. That can happen to young pitchers.
Utley takes the fastball just off the plate. Well, it's the one thing that we've seen from DeGrom right from the beginning is that he has handled adversity extremely well.
This map is littered with guys who can throw 95 miles an hour. Did he have the insides?
Yep.
So far, he's got them.
And all the stats in the world don't tell you about the. Oh boy.
Utley lost the bat on the curveball, but he did make contact to foul it off as the bat rolls out to Herrera.
So
Herrera's first play in the big leagues is picking up a bat.
And a good curve. Boy, that's just barely. That's hanging in there. Wow.
interesting to see Utley's head down. I mean, he really over accentuates when he makes contact with the ball. His head is right on the baseball. Remember, Pete Rose used to over accentuate that when he played, of just looking the ball almost right on the bat.
DeGrom ahead 1-2, and Utley takes the changeup off the plate. 2-2.
It's one of the rare times we see Travis d'Arnaud move. See how much he moved there? He doesn't move that much usually. Stays kind of real firm on that outside corner, but good movement on that pitch.
And Utley fouls away the fastball to stay in there.
Very defensive swings from Utley here. It's just like it's almost similar to Daniel Murphy when he takes those defensive 2-strike swings.
Utley now 35 years old, his healthiest year in the last 4 or 5. And that's been perhaps the best reward for Chase this year, just staying on the field. He hits one out to center, and Lagares eases back. 1-2-3 opening inning for Jacob deGrom. Mets come to bat. Lagares will lead things off against David Buchanan when we come back. T-shirts on Free Shirt Friday. Geico starting lineup for the Mets tonight. Dilson Herrera hitting 7th, playing second base in his big league debut. Mets trying to get Granderson and Wright going in those 2 and 3 holes. They have really struggled the second half. David Buchanan on the mound for the Phillies.
We see his Toyota numbers. He's got 2 starts against the Mets, both quality, but both losses.
Juan Lagares leading off for the 24th time this year. Lagares took an 0 for last night after going 9 for 18 in his previous 5 games. And he hits one right up the middle for a leadoff base hit. So Lagares gets the Mets started against Buchanan.
Well, one thing that Juan does well is he does go up the middle and use the other side of the field, the opposite field, and there's the swing staying inside the ball is the terminology. Getting contemporary here. I'm learning. Stay with it, folks.
How great is it in your first at bat to get a hit?
Oh, it always is. It's a great way to start the day.
Right?
Kidding? I got a chance for. Hey, I got 3 more at bats. I get 2 easy. Come on.
Here's Granderson. And he rolls the first pitch down to Howard. Ooh. Short hop nicely by Rollins. Wow. They can't turn 2. That's a nice pickup by Rollins on the low throw by Howard.
I'll say.
He's had lots of practice.
Well, they've been together a long time, Ronnie, that's for sure. And You see, the sidearm throw is always problematic. But, you know, Howard's never been a guy that's been a glove here. See, you watch him throw sidearm. You want to come on top like a catcher. Throw it from your ear. So now you throw sidearm, it's going to sink. So you got to throw it into the runner. And it gets a chance to hit the runner. It doesn't there. But that's a heck of a play by Rollins.
It's the 904th game that Howard, Utley, and Rollins have started together. More than any first base, second base, shortstop trio in Major League history. Here's David Wright. David returned to the lineup last night after missing 2 games with neck spasms and went 0 for 4. Since the All-Star break, 36 games for David. He's hitting .209 with 2 extra base hits. No home runs, 2 doubles, 8 RBIs in those 36 games.
It's not been a good second half.
Just to further that, his slugging percentage since the All-Star break, slugging percentage is .223.
Yep.
So it's really just, it's been an absolute zero for him since the All-Star break. And I would think that the month of September is going to be hugely important for David, just to show himself as he strikes out for the second out of the inning that he can still hit.
This is a fastball away, and this is what's been giving him trouble. And just not, he got coverage there, but he's under it. He got the big uppercut, and the ball up above the waist is going to give David problems, and has been giving him problems.
2 out now, Lucas Duda. Lucas went just 1 for 11 in the series against Atlanta after the big road trip out west. 26 home runs, 3rd in the league, 76 RBIs, 7th in the National League. And the Phillies put on the big shift, and Duda takes a strike.
Unlike yesterday, though, the Atlanta Braves kept Andrelton Simmons at shortstop. Jimmy Rollins moved over. Cody Ashley's playing short.
Granderson at first with 2 out. And Buchanan misses up and away, 1-1. Mets are facing Buchanan for the 3rd time. They've beaten him twice. He's pitched credibly in both games. Gave up 3 earned runs in each outing.
Doesn't go deep into games. I think 3rd time through the order, lineups get kind of onto him. Change-up's a big weapon against lefties.
Duda pops one up. On from left field comes Sizemore, and that ends the inning. A leadoff single for Lagares, and the Mets are held off the board. No score after 1. Teach him all about baseball. He probably already knows.
It's on the edge of his seat. Is that cool?
Coldwell Banker home field advantage for Jacob deGrom. 1.93 ERA at home. That's a home field advantage,
I would say.
In deGrom's only prior start against the Phillies, he held them scoreless for 6 innings, and then Ryan Howard ruined that with a 3-run homer in the 7th, which was all deGrom gave up in that game. And now deGrom faces Howard again and misses high for ball 1. Howard 4th in the National League with 81 runs batted in, but by any measure this has not been his best season. Here is that home run back on May 31st.
Well, this is when deGrom had his little, he pitched so wonderfully and had nothing to show for it. Remember, he started out 0-4, and this was really the first outing where he kind of started a little bit of a small skid. And he turned it around.
It's funny to see Dilson Herrera playing where Murph plays. Same position.
Do you think, and I have no idea, that down in Double-A they shift like this?
Yes.
And Dilson Herrera will get his first chance from the outfield grass and handles it perfectly for the first out.
His first major league putout. Assist.
Ryan Howard.
Assist.
That's pretty cool.
He's got the I see he's got the skillet bill. Where's the hat with the skillet on top? They can fry some eggs on that bill.
You really, that irritates you a little bit.
I don't like that. I think it's a terrible look. You got to get a little arc to it, don't you?
Curvature.
Styles change.
Well, yeah, I'm all in.
There was a time when nobody wore their pants down to the tops of their shoes either.
Hey, that hat, the way he's wearing it's got hits in it. I'm all in.
Marlon Byrd takes below the knees for ball 1. Marlon 5th in the National League with 24 home runs, 6th with 77 runs batted in. He'll turn 37 years old tomorrow. And of course, Byrd was the party of the other part when the Mets acquired Dilson Herrera. They traded Marlon Byrd and John Buck to the Pirates last summer during August, during the waiver period of trading, and they got back Herrera and Vic Black, who went on the disabled list yesterday but has done such good work for the Mets. It's one area where the Mets have really excelled over the last few years is trading veterans for prospects, whether it was trading Carlos Beltran for Zach Wheeler, trading R.A. Dickey to get Travis d'Arnaud and Noah Syndergaard, trading Byrd and Buck to get Herrera and Black. It's really been a high point for the Mets front office over the last several years. 1-2 coming to Byrd, and the breaking ball down, 2-2. Of course, that having been said, you know, the Mets could have re-signed Marlon Byrd in the offseason and chose not to give him 2 years, which the Phillies did.
Probably one of the big reasons that they could not move him, because many teams wanted Marlon Byrd. Why wouldn't you?
2-2 coming. Struck him out with a high fastball.
All fastballs.
Second strikeout for deGrom, 2 away. 3
fastballs and go sit down. I mean, not in succession, but swung and missed at all of them.
Well, he's got that four-seamer, just kind of like when you cock a gun, just has it held there and just lets it fly.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Grady Sizemore, who's continued his resurgence since joining the Phillies, released by Boston earlier this year. Struggled with the Red Sox, hitting .307 as a Philly in 38 games. And he takes a fastball for a strike.
Love this angle right here, this perception. Nah, perception's the wrong word.
Perspective.
Perspective. Thank you.
I thought you were going to William Blake and the Doors of Perception or something.
I was ready to quote canon.
Well, you know, perception is reality.
Get deep.
There's a good changeup by deGrom, and he gets ahead on Sizemore, 1-2.
Boy, what a good weapon this is going to be when he gets it, where he's throwing it for strikes and then just out of the strike zone.
He's going to get it quick. He's a bright guy. He catches on quickly.
That's the changeup he learned from Johan Santana. Gets the ground ball to Herrera, this time throwing from the dirt. 6 up and 6 down for DeGrom. Wilson Herrera gets his first big league at bat in the bottom of the second. No score at Citi Field. David Buchanan. Darno's now played 50 games since coming back from Las Vegas, hitting .265 with 9 home runs in those 50 games, and his slugging percentage in the 50 games is .486. Very impressive.
And what's right there, the average number, he's got it out of the 220s. It's been a long climb for him, and this is another decade now for him. He's in the 30s now and looking to build on that.
It's a sharp line drive, but right at Rollins for the first out.
And we'll take a look at the Coors Light Fight and Phil defense. And Grady Sizemore, of course, a new acquisition in left field. He's played some right field also. And there's that infield, that the 3 on your right, that's been there forever. Cody Ashley, the youngster, at third. And Chooch. Carlos Ruiz behind the plate. That's the old guard.
Speaking of catchers in the old guard, worth noting that tonight Yadier Molina returns for the St. Louis Cardinals after a month and a half on the disabled list. Matt Dendecker takes outside.
Keith, 903 games, because this is not an official game, for this trio. Garvey, Lopes, and Russell, they passed this year at 886.
Matt Dendecker just 1 for his last 15 after a hot start coming back from Las Vegas. And there is the newcomer Herrera getting ready for his first big league plate appearance.
You know what's interesting about that Dodger infield you talked about, Ron, was that a lot of those guys were with Lasorda and Albuquerque, and they were all called up late. I think Garvey was almost 28 when he got called, 25, 27, and they had been in that Albuquerque AAA, ball 4 to Dendecker, before they had won countless Pacific Coast League champions.
So now it's Herrera making his way to the plate for the first time. Well, Met fans have been hearing his name since last summer when the Mets made the trade for him. Certainly aware of Herrera, and I think it surprised everybody that he got the call at this particular time. It surprised him most of all. At least he said he was shocked when he had to take his bags off the Binghamton bus that was headed for Richmond today. And he swings at the first pitch he sees, and Rollins steps on the bag and turns a 6-6-3 double play. Well, how many guys can say they hit into a double play on the first pitch they saw in the majors? That'll do it for the Mets in the bottom of the second. On to the third with no score. All new Audi A3.
Well, this is the big weekend. The end of the season. Folks starting their final summer holiday weekend.
Carlos Ruiz leads off in the third and pops one foul back and out of play. Now, as a resident of a community that expands its population on weekends in the summer, are you folks out there happy when the summer's over and all the tourists leave?
The locals are. There's a particular name for Monday. It's a big day. Everybody goes out to the beach and around various places and does a barbecue, and it's like
a bonfire to
kick
watch.
out the door Monday. So kick out the door Monday. I think it's called.
Is that really what it's called?
Don't quote me on that.
What is it, Riff Raff Monday, or what do you call it?
The one thing that's going to be good is you're going to be able to find places to park out there. At Sag Harbor, it was just impossible to find parking.
Cody Asche on deck, and then the pitcher Buchanan. DeGrom ahead on Ruiz 1-2, and he foul tips the curveball and just off the mid of Darno. Still 1-2. Kick him out of town Monday.
Something like that.
Is that right after send him home Sunday?
After we've taken all your money over the whole summer, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Tough play for Wright. He charges, uses the glove, and throws out Ruiz. Nicely done by David Wright. 1 out.
Well, David's become so adept at this, and that's just years of hard work, and that goes back to the time when Sandy Alomar Sr. was the infield coach here and worked with David on a day-to-day basis, and David put the time in. Now he's just always solid on those kind of plays.
He's had a very good defensive year. 1 out and nobody on. Now Cody Asche. First pitch curveball from DeGrom for a strike.
Not a good pitch to swing at with first pitch. You can have to take that one. Backdoor curveball leading you off.
Ball and a strike to Asche, whom the Mets have not really seen succeed much. He's just 4 for 35 against Met pitching this year.
He's hitting 244. He's not like tearing the league up.
He's doubled up. He played in 44 games last year with the Phillies. This is his 89th. Double a chance to show what he can do.
Well, the Phillies desperately need to have a younger player succeed. Dominic Brown, who they thought was going to be that guy the first part of last year, has not played well. He's not in the lineup tonight against a right-hander, so that's telling.
Ryan Sandberg, skipper, first full season as skipper of the Phillies.
1-2 to Asche, and he fouls it off. So here's Asche. He's 24 in a lineup that's just filled with guys 34 plus, and they really need to see something positive out of him.
Well, he's been given every opportunity. I see as a St. Charles, Missouri young man.
Who's that, outside of St. Louis?
Yeah, that's where Darryl lives. Straw. St. Charles, right across from Missouri. Just beyond the airport.
Are you going to give the address?
It's been. There was nothing to do out there when I played. There's no reason to go there.
7th pitch of the at bat, and DeGrom misses high, up full count. DeGrom has retired his first 7. He struck out 2. And his strikeout high against the Phillies back in May when he fanned 11. And he misses high, and the Phillies have their first base runner. So a 1-out walk to Asche. Well, there's where Jacob DeGrom ranks, the only National League rookie pitcher who's cleared 100 innings this year. And as such, also leads National League rookies in strikeouts. Certainly before he spent 2 weeks on the disabled list, his candidacy for Rookie of the Year was growing by leaps and bounds. Buchanan gets the bunt down. DeGrom thought about second, but takes the out at first. 1-4 on the sacrifice, moving Asche to second.
I kiddingly always call him the third Weaver brother, Jeff and Jared. Of course, Jared, who plays for the Angels. He's got that beautiful long arm action, tall and lean, and with that long stride and follow through in a nice fielding position.
I thought it was the hair.
Yeah, well, that's part of it, definitely. Although he's a Florida guy, not a Southern Cal guy.
So here's Ben Revere with a runner at second and 2 down. Revere has had 481 at bats this year. He has 15 runs batted in. How's that possible?
Who did he hit his home run off of? I know it was a left-hander.
It was the first of his career. It came earlier this season.
Off a lefty, which interesting.
He'd gone what, some 1,400 at bats without a home run. Ashe at second and 2 out, and Revere bounces one for Herrera. Handles the hop. Side retired. Phillies get their first base runner. DeGrom keeps them off the board. No score as we go to the bottom of the third. Phone or tablet, get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Mets.com today. Some beautiful pinks and purples in the sunset sky over New York as Wilmer Flores leads off in the home third inning. Wilmer just 5 for his last 34, seeing his average shrink to 220. Flores, DeGrom, and Lagares for the Mets in the home third, and Buchanan misses high 2-0. David Buchanan making his 15th start. He was sent down right after the All-Star break, came back in early August. Allowed 2 runs in 5 innings against the Cardinals his last time out. There's DeGrom, the best hitting rookie pitcher in baseball. Flores lines one to right over toward the gap. Bird with a diving catch. Now we saw Marlin do plenty of that last year playing right field for the Mets.
Yes, we did. Past tense. He can do it.
37 tomorrow and still running like a youngin'.
Yep. He was surprisingly, he didn't come here with a whole lot of credentials defensively, and I thought he was terrific last year in right field.
Tip of the cap by Buchanan later.
Jacob deGrom has 10 hits this year, which is by far the most of any rookie pitcher. Nobody else has more than 5. Breaks his bat, and Utley throws him out. 2 out.
Watch Bird's reaction, Kate, to those bullpen mates after the catch.
Yeah.
Comes to play, doesn't he? It was a real joy watching him play last year.
What a comeback.
Do you remember early last season as Lagares got set to step in? We were talking, it was probably late April, early May, and he was playing every day, and we're saying, you know, really should sit him down. He's going to wear out. He's 35, 36 years old, and we were so totally wrong.
Yeah.
He was in great shape, played every day, was productive right to the end of his tenure here, and then went and helped the Pirates after he left. Over toward the sidewall goes Marlin, and he runs out of room. 0-2 to Lagares, who has the only hit in this game, a single to center to lead off the first.
Well, the Mets have owned the Phillies this year. They're 11-5 against the Phils. They're killing them in Philadelphia. They're 8-2 in Philly, but they're 3-3 here at home against the fighting Phils.
These are the final 3 games of the year between the Mets and the Phillies. They do not play in September. So there's the matchup numbers this year, and the Mets have had some of their best offense this season, particularly in Philadelphia. Never more stark than when they took 4 out of 5 in that extended series at the end of May and early June.
See where Lagares has fared well against the Phils. Swan having himself a nice homestand.
Two from Buchanan, and the breaking ball bounced down to third. And Ashe throws him out to end the inning. So that'll do it for the Mets in the bottom of the third. No score after 3. When we come back, Kevin Burkhardt will join us, and we'll give our thoughts about the pros and cons of the new replay rule this year. No score. Jimmy Rollins will lead off for the Phillies against Jacob deGrom. deGrom has not allowed a hit over the first 3 innings, just 1 base runner, a walk to Cody Ashe with 1 out in the third. Rollins struck out his first time up. Well, for the last 5 months we've been following the introduction of full-scale replay in Major League Baseball. And we figured this was a good time to take a closer look at the breadth and scope of what has occurred this year with the new managerial challenge system. And we invited Kevin Burkhardt into the booth to kind of lead it off and give us some of the overview of it.
Well, you know, I think it's a good time to kind of talk about what's gone on, you guys. And if is it working? Do we like it? That type of thing. So we'll get to that in a second. But maybe we'll show some of the stats to see what's going on with it. And after the pitch, we'll show you. Ooh, man.
DeGrom handles it cleanly. Protects his face, 1 out.
So we'll start with this. Here's replay. It's been used an awful lot. Gary, we were talking. I almost figured that the plays overturned would be more just because everybody has their own video guy who's essentially telling the manager whether to challenge it. Those standing plays are inconclusive when they look at video and they just can't tell. So the ruling on the field stands. But look, I talked to some folks at the commissioner's office just to get a feel for what they think. And I think there's a couple things that I got out of the conversation. Number one is I think they're realistic, and I don't think that they figured, hey, we're going to install this, and in year one it's going to be perfect. I think they figured, hey, it's going to be put in, and then there's going to be some tweaks. But, a person I spoke with said, hey, overall the system's put in so we could get things right. I think it is doing that. But they, in our conversation, acknowledged a few different things. One of those things was, said, one thing is how do we get around the managers coming out and just looking unnatural, just standing there, as we all know, waiting for that thumbs up. That is something that they wanted to talk about. He did bring up this point, though. How about this? 1,000 times. We saw the stat on how many challenges over that. 1,000 times the manager has come out and not challenged. And what he said was, it doesn't look right.
Utley drives one over toward the gap, but Lagares eases over for the second out.
Even though it doesn't look right, those managers coming out not challenging takes 20 to 30 seconds. So that is still less than if he challenged. It's still saving time for the game. So he acknowledged the biggest thing here is trying to get that time down and keep the pace of play going. But they want to get stuff right. So I think they feel like it's going in the right direction. The other interesting part about this, guys, is this, and I know I'm talking a lot here, but we always talk about what they're looking at and maybe why it's taking longer than we thought. Well, I asked specifically what they're doing and what they're seeing with these plays. They have 12 cameras taken back live in the center, and then they get the home and the visiting feed. So essentially, they have, you want to call it, director for each game in that command center in New York. What they don't have, though, and they can have, is those XMO cameras, these super slow-mo cameras, and I'll explain why after the pitch. So to show you the difference, let's look. We'll show you the regular slow motion as birds catch. That's regular, and now the super slow-mo, the XMO that we have on SNY.
Big difference.
Big difference, and that's what. When you have those controversial calls, you kind of need that. But the reason why they can't take that back live is because it has to be ingested in a computer first and rendered. That's how the camera works. And so, yes, a lot of times they are waiting what we show on replay. And that's why sometimes when you'll see replay and as we in the truck get it ready to show the viewer, they're waiting on the same thing. There's no way now for them to get that. So they're talking about in the future investing in those XMO cameras in every stadium.
Howard drives one to deep right center. Back goes Granderson onto the warning track, and he runs it down to end the inning. We'll have much more conversation about instant replay and the way it's going. Meanwhile, Jacob deGrom has held the Phillies without a hit through 4. Curtis Granderson leads off the home fourth inning in a scoreless game. Curtis hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. A ball and a strike to Granderson with Wright and Duda to follow. We're in the middle of a conversation about the instant replay rule and the first 5 months of it. Just a few more numbers to throw at you. The Cubs have had the most challenges. The Yankees have been the most successful at challenging. The Mets are right in the middle in terms of their success rate. Changeup from Buchanan strikes out Granderson for the first out.
Good backdoor breaking ball here, Keith. Changeup, you said? I think you're right. A high changeup. I'm wrong.
Little sink to it.
So one out, David Wright coming up. So let me ask you guys just an overview. Ronnie, what is your view of replay? Yay or nay or somewhere in between?
No in between. Absolutely nay. Now, that being said, the game has to have replay. Replay is in every single sport. It's here to stay. Just has to be not only tweaked, has to be really overturned and really changed completely.
Wright lines one into center field, and David has himself a base hit. The Mets' second hit of the night.
The reason I say that is that this is my opinion. It's good to see David get a hit on the ball away and going back up the middle. Is that it's made the game, well, it's entirely too slow anyway, but it's made the game unnatural. You know, there's plays that happen. We saw it here the other night with a nice play by Justin Upton, a beautiful hit by d'Arnaud. He slides into second base. It's a beautiful play. The umpire calls him safe. He ended up being safe, but they had to go to replay. So that beautiful play for the fans and everyone became a 6-minute kind of, I don't know what it was.
It's a number from Duda, and Buchanan throws him out as Wright goes to second.
So it wasn't fun to watch. My remedy is that in every ballpark you have a technical umpire, not in the replay operations center. They are at the ballpark seeing everything that we see. They are trained in not only camera, umpiring, everything you want to have, just like an official scorer. And what he'll have is he'll have a connection to the crew chief. And if he does nothing, play continues. If he buzzes him once, I have to take a look. And if he buzzes him twice, you have to change the play. It's not that difficult. It'll take no time at all.
Keith?
I am not for it, and I'm sure it's not a surprise. I've been called a dinosaur many times, but I don't like it. And there's the one thing I don't like about it is that we had it in Los Angeles, Gare. You're late in the game, and it's a tight game. Runners in scoring position, and the pitcher had to sit on the mound and wait over 3 minutes.
d'Arnaud drives one over the glove of Rollins, and that'll get the game's first run home. David Wright comes in to score. Travis d'Arnaud with an RBI single. 1-0 New York. Now d'Arnaud lined out to Rollins his first time up, and Jimmy, who's 5'9", not quite tall enough to catch this one.
Well, d'Arnaud was surprising the other day when Terry Collins hit Duda third and d'Arnaud fourth. I think d'Arnaud's become really a good two-strike hitter and a good RBI guy. It's a two-out RBI right there. I was surprised that d'Arnaud didn't hit third because Duda's really a cleanup hitter. But I think that could be a position in the lineup for d'Arnaud down the road. But getting back to the replays and the challenges, excuse me. The pitcher having to sit out there and then bide his time and wait, and I think it's unfair. Again, the games have been long. They're trying to find ways to make the game faster. Well, this makes it longer. I'm sorry. One manager, a retired manager, told me he's okay with the replay because why not hire better umpires? Have better quality umpires. And what about the human element that an umpire makes a call? You know, it is what it is. It's not.
Dendecker takes one the other way, driving Sizemore back, and he gets there to end the inning. We'll talk more about this when we return. d'Arnaud's two-out RBI hit gives DeGrom and the Mets a 1-0 lead after 4. DeGrom's rookie season. Get 4 tickets for just $48 to all games through Sunday. To purchase 4 field level tickets for just $48, get to Mets.com/DeGrom. Well, Jacob hasn't allowed a hit over the first 4 innings. Now he has a 1-0 lead. He'll face Marlon Byrd to lead off the 5th. Marlon struck out his first time up, one of 2 strikeouts for DeGrom so far tonight. Byrd, Sizemore, and Ruiz for the Phillies in the 5th. And we continue our conversation about instant replay. Kevin, what are your overall thoughts?
You know, I do like it. I am, you know, I understand there's a certain human element to the game, and I like that. But, you know, I don't want a playoff game decided by a wrong call. But I think clearly the process has to be streamlined. I think that's a fact, and I think they know that. I think they're hopefully going to strive towards that. But there's a lot of changes that have to be made. I like the idea of replaying it. It's just got to be faster. That's the bottom line. And you know, I polled some of the players. Terry Collins said, for instance, he said, hey, look, you know, I like it. I think it is working, but there's a couple things for me. So for me, when I go out, when the call's made or upheld or changed, we never know why. And I'd like to know why, even as a teaching moment to the players. So that's one thing I would like to change. Said 2, that play the other night with Darno, when we showed the replay, second basemen are now getting aware that you just a little shove here, and guess what? You're off the bag, and then you review it, and he's out. He's like, so if there's obstruction at home plate, that's going to have to start to be discussed at second base.
Byrd draws a leadoff walk, second walk given up by DeGrom.
And then Gerald Laird, I thought, offered the Braves catcher, offered some interesting things, guys. He said, I don't like the manager not being able to go out and argue, and sometimes as a player that ejection gets you going. I like that, and I think the crowd likes it, so that's number one. And again, the commissioner's office acknowledged that. And then kind of what we said the other night with the Darno play, Gary. He said, you know, I hate stopping the game after a great play. I think you got to just, you know, great plays there, boom, let's get going. And Ronnie, to your point, one last thing about changing the system. He said, you know, managers get paid to make decisions, yet when it comes to challenges, they're not making the decision. They're getting the input. Let them, without somebody coaching them, let them just decide if they're going to challenge a play. It'll save time. So I thought he brought up some interesting points. Gary, what's your take on this whole thing?
Well, I substantially agree with what Ronnie said. I think the game has to have replay. I think we're too advanced in terms of the technology, and people at home can see when egregiously bad calls are made. Sizemore drills one under right, and the Phillies have their first hit. I think the technology should be used as greatly as it can, and what I mean by that is take the managers completely out of the equation. There's no reason for the managers to have to go out there and challenge and there to be a replay coordinator for each team. It makes absolutely no sense. We have the technology, and also it makes no sense that when there is a challenge, the umpires have to come over to the side of the field and put on 1990s headsets. Okay, there's wireless technology. There's no reason that whoever is reviewing the play, whether it's in the ballpark or back in the command center, can't be talking wirelessly in the ear of the home plate umpire. We're in 2014. All of that is possible. Here's Carlos Ruiz with 2 men on. So that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see a replay system where the egregiously bad calls get overturned by a replay coordinator, whether that's in the ballpark or in New York. The thing that just blows my mind, and it happens in football too, so it's not just baseball, is that basically every time there is a great play, from a fan standpoint, as a fan, there's a close play at the plate, there's a close play at first base in a key situation, and you're waiting for that umpire's call and you're ready to cheer or groan, and now it doesn't mean anything. That close play is absolutely meaningless. The safer out call. You've taken some of the most exciting pieces of the game, and you've turned them over to a process where you find out 5 minutes later what the result is. And I think from a fan perspective, just watching the game and reacting to it as a loyalist to the team you're rooting for, I think that it really takes something away. And again, I think that happens in football too.
It does. You know, you get touchdown, and then hold on, review, and you wait, and then it comes back. But you know, HDTV calls it. You know, you're home, and the pictures are so good that That's what caused this whole thing.
You know, what comes to mind is an example of what Gary was saying. How would it have changed the great play in the World Series when Jackie Robinson stole home plate and Yogi Berra made the tag, and they thought he was out, and the umpire blew the call, and you never would have had Yogi going berserk.
Right.
You never would have had the manager coming out going berserk, and the fans moaning and groaning. The umpire, you blew the call, and the home, you know, that's all gone.
Right.
I agree with Gary.
Ruiz strikes out for the first out of the inning. Now Cody Ashe with 2 on and 1 out. And there's another piece to this too. I've watched as this thing goes along this year, and I don't want to cast aspersions on anybody. I think everybody is handling this as best they can within the parameters of what's been put down. But I have a real discomfort with umpires judging umpires. I think that the people, whoever it is, again, whether it's back in the replay center in New York, whether it's at the site, it's got to be a supervisor, because I think that there are situations where the umpires back, and again, we don't know who the umpires back in New York, because they've declined to tell us who they are. But I think as the pickoff try at second and Bird gets back, I think that there's got to be there's a human element to this. These guys are all friends, and I think there's a natural tendency, whether they realize it or not, subconsciously, to protect their brethren. And if it's a close call, to uphold the call on the field, even if it's wrong. And I would like to see a different level, a supervisor who has a different job title than umpire, making the final call, if indeed we're going to have a replay.
Well, I think the hardest thing, right, is to go down that road. Because when you go down that road, there's going to be mistakes, absolutely. So we're talking about the mistakes with also knowing that, or I think this, that everyone is in the spirit of the gods. I mean, everyone's just trying to get this right, and I know they are trying to get it right, from umpires to managers to whomever. But the key is you got to make it happen faster. You've got to, in the future now, as we start to move forward, start to go out there and try to attract those guys who want to umpire, who can be good umpires.
Ashe out on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for DeGrom after the first 2 Phillies got on.
You know, we always talk about this here. It's very difficult on minor league umpires because they're not paid well. Their travel is just as awful can be. Let's attract guys and pay them. It's no different than teachers. Pay them the proper salary to go out there and learn their craft. And if learning their craft takes them occasionally inside a booth, whether a technical umpire looking at the cameras and helping people on the field, that's great. And then at the end of the season, you know, you have a tribunal that looks at how players are playing. Did he intentionally try to hit someone? Did he try to do this or that? Have that same tribunal look at umpires and say, you know what? Sorry, but this is the big leagues. You're not doing your job, and we need someone different. All of those things would help the process move along.
1-0 to Buchanan, and he takes a strike. I completely agree with what you said, Ronnie, and I think this place to start is with players who flame out at the AA and AAA level, who don't make it to the big leagues. Those are guys who have good eyesight, who have good athletic skills. You need to recruit those guys. You need to pay them a lot more than minor league umpires are making right now, and upgrade the umpire corps without question. Right on the backhand, runs to the bag, gets there in time, and DeGrom able to pitch himself out of trouble in the top of the 5th. Well, it'll be interesting as we move toward the postseason to see how the entire replay system comes down and what changes might be made next year. Good discussion, guys. Thanks. 1-0 Mets halfway through. Post-game reactions plus a preview of tomorrow's game as Bartolo Colon goes to the mound on Mets Blog, powered by Verizon, part of the SNY.TV blog network. 1-0 New York as we go to the bottom of the 5th. And Dilson Herrera will get his second big league at bat. His first one lasted just one pitch. He grounded into a 6-6-3 double play.
Holds his hands very high in his stance. And he's not an open stance guy. Let's see. They all have the widespread legs today. They spread out at the plate. And the toe tapping. But he's not closed, nor is he open with his feet. He's pretty much pointing towards the pitcher.
Yanks one foul, and it's 1-2. Herrera hit 13 home runs in the minor leagues this year, 3 in St. Lucie and then 10 in Binghamton. He's one of the youngest players to make his Mets debut. And he's the youngest player in the big leagues right now. Rougned Odor of Texas was younger when he came up earlier this year, but he's a month older than is Dilson Herrera. Herrera is also the first native of Colombia to ever play for the Mets. There have been only a handful of players from that nation in the big leagues. Down the right field line, Bird over toward the sidewall and runs out of room.
Some Cartagena, Mr. Herrera.
The most notable duo from Colombia were the shortstops Edgar Renteria and Orlando Cabrera, and in fact Herrera has said that Renteria was his hero growing up.
I bet.
We saw another native of Colombia the other night, Julio Teheran, the fine young pitcher for the Braves, but there just have not been that many.
Now let me ask you, you're brought up to the big leagues from Double-A, you started in Single-A, you get to your locker, you're so excited, you look at the uniform, you see Herrera, you know, playing for the New York Mets, New York baseball, and you see number 2. I mean,
it's pretty cool, huh?
Okay.
Well, Herrera has played some shortstop this year. The Mets are saying right now they're only going to look at him at second base.
They're not going to make it as comfortable for him as possible, Gary.
He goes down swinging on the changeup from Buchanan. Third strikeout for David Buchanan, and there's one out in the 5th.
Chased a little change up, sinking change out of the strike zone. I like his stroke, what I've seen so far.
It's hard to hit when your heart's racing.
Yeah,
I mean, everything looks good
until you get that first hit. It's I mean, your first game is just you're on tenterhooks, for crying out loud.
Wilmer Flores was robbed of a hit his first time up. A diving catch by Marlon Byrd over in right center field. By the way, the comment you made a moment ago, Ronnie, about giving Herrera number 2, you think he'll have that big a problem filling Justin Turner's shoes?
Justin's having a good year.
Yes, he is.
That's fun.
Of course, number 2 to me most famously was worn in a Mets uniform by Bobby Valentine when he was the Mets skipper. Pulled over the bag and off the cushion and down the line. Flores will head for second. Sizemore makes the throw, not in time. A cushion double for Wilmer Flores.
Well, the only question here was Ashe going to be able to dive and knock and make the play. But when it hits the bag, no, he wasn't going to get there. That was double written all over it.
It's got to be a helpless feeling as a corner infielder, Keith, when you're trying to reach for a ball and all of a sudden hits the cushion and just moves in an entirely different direction.
I agree.
DeGrom lifts one to center. Revere is right there waiting for it, and that's the second out. And Flores will stay at second.
The one that's most nerve-wracking, Gary, is the sidewinder ground ball coming to out because it can wiggle. And I remember in the playoffs against Houston, and Ray Knight called me a hot dog in the dugout. It was important. It was the game that Bobby O pitched, game 2, and someone hit a squibber at me, the runner on first, and I went, oh no. It's AstroTurf, and I remember I went down on both knees and blocked it and threw from my knees, got the force out. And Ray called me, "You hot dog." And I said, "No, Ray, that ball was not going through my legs."
Cannon busts Lagares inside. Hot dog? You?
Hey, if it wasn't anybody but Ray, I really got hot.
I'm not going to go after Ray.
Juan didn't raise no hot dog. 2-0 to Lagares, who had a base hit up the middle his first time up, grounded out to third in the third. Mets with a run on 4 hits. The Phillies no runs and 1 hit were in the 5th. One of the few times Buchanan's been behind tonight. And Lagares fouls back the fastball. So in a tweet of the game, we'd like your opinion. We've expressed ours about what changes you'd make, if any, to the instant replay system. Hashtag SNY tweet. Let us know. Flores at 2nd and 2 out. 2-1 to Lagares with Granderson on deck. And the breaking ball in. Lagares didn't think so,
well,
but Lance Barrett did.
A lot of guys take these high breaking balls, high fastballs. You know what? Those are great pitches to hit. Your pitcher probably held his breath when he released that one. Said, "Thank goodness he didn't swing." And I got a strike out of it.
City probables for the remainder of the series. Bartolo Colon, back from his mom's funeral, goes tomorrow night against Jerome Williams, who's been terrific since he joined the Phillies. And then Sunday afternoon, Dylan G against A.J. Burnett, who comes off his best start in ages. 12 strikeout performances last time out. 2-2 to Lagares with Flores at 2nd and 2 out. And Juan fights that one off.
He's been pounding Juan inside here, staying in on his hands.
One of my favorite things to watch is the opening game of a series, how the opposing team is going to pitch your players. And you can tell right away that with 2 strikes, there's going to be 2 things. They're going to pound Juan in to throw breaking balls away in the dirt.
If you pitch him away with 2 strikes, he'll poke it to right and drive in a run. Grounds this one right at Rollins. And that retires the side. A double from Flores, but the Mets strand him after 5. 1-0 New York. Meanwhile, the Yankees down 1-0 as Jose Bautista hit his 27th. That's Mark Burley pitching for the Blue Jays. They're in the 6th, and the Red Sox lighting up Chris Archer. 8-1 they lead the Rays in the 3rd. Top of the batting order, 3rd time through. Ben Revere leads off against Jacob deGrom, who's given up just 1 hit. A single to Grady Sizemore in the 5th inning. Revere is 0 for 2. Phillies got the first 2 men on against deGrom in the 5th on a walk, and that hit by Sizemore. deGrom responded with strikeout, strikeout, ground out. Curveball gets him ahead of Revere, 1-2. Here we go.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
Now, here's the thing. He hasn't always had long hair. He started growing it a few years ago. Now it's become a trademark.
Right.
So is it going to be hard for him to ever cut it?
Only time you cut it if you go in the tank for a while. Yeah. Change things up.
Herrera to his left. Handles it nicely. 1 away.
So I should tell you what that is. Sorry, folks. Going to the tank means you go through a period of time when you're struggling.
It's a shot from behind Herrera.
We'll see how Herrera moved to his left. Looks like he's got sure hands. Talk to the scouts. They say he's got excellent hands, excellent footwork on the double play. They all like his glove.
You know, I mentioned briefly earlier that the Mets played him some at shortstop in the minors this year, and you know, in his words, he was a shortstop, you know, growing up, and Pirates played him at 2nd and 3rd in their system. The Mets have mainly played him at 2nd. And Daniel Murphy was very disappointed to be on the disabled list. It's going to cost him a shot at 200 hits this year. Lagares comes in to get Rollins' fly ball for the 2nd out. More on that in a moment. First, let's check with CJ Papa in the studio for a game break brought to you by your local Tri-Honda dealers. Pirates just 4 games out in the National League Central and 2 back in the wild card.
Volquez has really been, he's going for win number 12 tonight.
Here's Utley, who's 0 for 2. Anyway, I was going to say the Mets have said they're going to play Herrera only at 2nd base during this stint in the big leagues, but couldn't you see a situation where if Murphy comes back 3 weeks from now and Dilson Herrera's playing well, that maybe they do look at him at shortstop late in the season?
Yeah, just to keep him in the lineup too, right?
Well, I mean, you'd also like to know, does he have the goods to handle shortstop at the big league level?
I think a lot's going to rely on how he's doing offensively. If he's wearing it out and doing well, successful, he's relaxed, then okay, you can go experiment.
Well, the Mets have no idea how long Murphy's going to be out. It looks like it's going to be longer than 2 weeks. And Keith, you know about calf injuries. Utley has himself a 2-out hit.
Yes, I do know about calf injuries, and they're long to heal. When you explode out of the box, it's Murph's right calf. He's going to have to take those initial 2 steps out of the box to run a ball out, and all that stress goes right into that calf muscle. It is difficult.
So the tying run aboard for Ryan Howard, who hit one to the warning track in right his last time up. 0 for 2 on the night. Anyway, that discussion's for another day, and certainly Murph hopes to be back sooner rather than later. But for the Mets all-star this year, it's a shame he doesn't get to finish the season fully healthy, because he really did have a shot at 200 hits this year, and that would be an incredible milestone for him.
It's hits, doubles, RBI, everything. He had a great year last year, and he was having a better one this year.
Well, he's been the Mets' most consistent hitter now for what? How many consecutive seasons? 2, 3.
You know, it's interesting when you watch deGrom. We showed earlier Howard hit that hanging breaking ball over for a home run to left field in Citizens Bank Park. You have to be very careful. You can throw him the breaking ball, just don't throw it for a strike. He wants to swing.
Change up, and he swung over the top of that. 1-2.
And then you double up after you've got him thinking down. You just pop him inside, letter high, and he can't touch it. He just has a swing that cannot touch that pitch.
Right.
But you have to have no fear.
One, two. On the outside corner, Howard caught looking. 5 strikeouts for Jacob deGrom as he dotted the outside edge. Perfect pitch. 1-0 Mets. Curtis Granderson leads off the home 6th inning and takes inside from David Buchanan. Granderson 0 for 2 tonight, hit into a fielder's choice and struck out. This is only the 60th pitch from Buchanan starting the 6th inning. And Granderson pops it weakly to short, and Rollins squeezes it one away. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com.
And that play right there is the difference in the ball game right now. That's the 2-out base hit off Darno's bat.
So you're saying if Mrs. Rollins had had a 5'11" son, we'd still be tied.
He mistimed his jump just a little bit. So, you know, we talk about Rollins all the time. We talk about on and off the field, his hitting. You know, he's passed. Now he has #1 in so many categories offensively for the Phillies. I don't think we talk enough about how good his defense is and always has been.
Well, he's won, what, 3 Gold Gloves?
Yeah. I mean,
he may never win one again. Nobody may ever win one again in the National League at shortstop until Andrelton Simmons retires. Cody Ashe handles Wright's ground ball and throws him out 2 away.
Every once in a while, you're involved in a ball game where both pitchers are pitching well, and if you're deGrom sitting in the dugout, you're thinking, you know, if I want to win this game, I might have to win this 1-0.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm not saying there is, but you start to have that thought.
I would think that you would love those games. Well, of course, you want the blowout, but those are competitive games. I have another question for you after this pitch too, Ron.
Dude has flied out and hit a comebacker 0 for 2.
Did you really love when you were matched up against Valenzuela or Steve Carlton? You had to.
Absolutely. You know, John Tudor, when he had that great year for the Cardinals. Yeah, you love it. You love it because, you know what? You're pitching against the other team, but it's mano a mano. You really
gets through Buchanan, but Rollins is there to sweep up, and that retires the side. Another quick inning for Buchanan. The Mets are done on 6 pitches. 1-0 Mets after 6. In a vanilla shake?
I don't think so. Packed.
Always is.
It's always nice and breezy back there, isn't it?
Well, a few yards away on the Pepsi porch, Kevin Burkhardt. He has tonight's view from the Pepsi porch. Kev?
I can confirm it is breezy up here as well, but I don't have a vanilla shake. That's the downside. Up here on the porch, and we showed early in the broadcast some members of the Pepsi Valor program honoring the military and their families. So they're up here tonight. A nice program to help those especially in need. But you know, we've talked all night about Herrera, obviously, in his debut, and just like you guys, I've talked to various people too. One scout told me he's going to be a good player, and he's built like a tank for a little guy. And you can see it. He's athletic. He's got some muscles on that frame for sure. Ryan Ellis, who managed him in Single A in St. Lucie this year, said, man, I love the guy. His attitude is tremendous. It's infectious. He gets the guys going, but he also has that grinder style of play out on the field that I really, really like an awful lot. And then Terry Collins today, guys, we were talking about the jump from Double A to the major leagues, which obviously players have done, but he invoked the name of Steve Sachs, who did it back in 1981. And check out their numbers. Both Herrera's at Double A this year and Sachs in 81. They're eerily similar, actually. Sachs hit 346 in Double A that year, and Herrera 340. Sachs had 8 home runs, Herrera 10. I don't know if either one. Well, Sachs wasn't a home run hitter. I don't think Herrera will be either. But the bottom line is, there are some comparisons there that hopefully the Mets can see. And Sachs was a 5-time All-Star. I think they'd take that all day long. What is that jump like, though, guys, going from Double A to the majors? Do you think?
Well, Kev, I can't comment on that. I never made that jump. It's a heck of a jump from AAA. So you can imagine there's the base hit right there. High fastball.
I will tell you, I played against Steve Sachs in 1981 when he was at Double A in San Antonio, and he was called up that year, played in 31 games. And when he was called up, no one in that league was surprised, because you just knew by everything that he did, he belonged in the major leagues. You just didn't know when. So when he was called up, you're like, that makes sense, you know, because he doesn't belong in this league. I think Herrera's like that.
Bird's hit, just the third of the night for the Phillies, came on an 0-2 pitch. Sizemore takes a curveball for a strike. Sizemore had the first Phillies hit after Bird walked in the 5th, and then DeGrom was able to pitch himself out of it. Carlos Ruiz on deck. 92 pitches now for DeGrom. The Mets bullpen is quiet. DeGrom threw 86 in his first start back from the DL last Saturday.
So Sachs played 31 games in 81. You know, if Herrera does what he's supposed to do, maybe he'll play in around those kind of numbers of games. That next year, Sachs won the Rookie of the Year. Finished 5th in the voting that year, Ryne Sandberg.
What year was that? 82?
82.
And then 2 years later, Sandberg won the MVP. 2-1 now to Sizemore.
There's his numbers for the year. That was a huge pitch right there, Keith. That could have been called a strike.
Either way. He's getting the ball down a lot more consistently now. The last 3 kind of got into a groove here, so the DeGrom we're used to seeing. Love how he keeps the ball on the corners and knees.
Sizemore, remember when the Phillies were here, hit a home run to right field. You got to stay down.
It's the one that hit the foul pole.
Yes.
Right? It was his first as a Philly, and he's had just one since. Those are DeGrom's numbers so far tonight, brought to you by Delta.
With veteran hitters, you can't go to the well too many times in a row. That's what he did with Bird, and Bird made him pay with a hit. That's 2 straight balls on the outside corner. So that can either set up a changeup, or you can bust him in with a fastball.
2-2 to Sizemore. And he fouls away the fastball.
See, now that's a fastball that was fouled back, but did you see that swing? That was a dangerous swing. That was a good swing by Sizemore, just a little late. You know, so he went after him, but Sizemore's on it.
By the way, Edison Volquez's no-hit bid ended in the top of the 7th. Still no score in Pittsburgh. Pirates and Reds.
C.J. Papa the mush tonight.
It's always one of us. Again, the 2-2. But low with a sinker. Full count.
I'm not so sure they're going to run Bird here or not. That's a tough call. I can't second guess one way or the other. You're down 1 run. You're in the 7th inning.
Well, if I were the Phillies, I'd put the pressure on here, especially with the way d'Arnaud's been throwing. Not going. Sizemore gets a piece and fouls it off.
I thought so, because really the rule of thumb is you don't. And there's a lot of it's changed in today's game. You're behind, you don't run the runner. You don't risk strike him out, throw him out. But I wouldn't second guess one way or the other. There's edging up in the bullpen, starting to get loose.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat from DeGrom to Sizemore. Grounded down to Duda. And Flores with a stretch came off the bag. And everybody's safe. Duda in a situation where you're trying to throw over the runner. Flores went up. And in the opinion of the second base umpire, Ron Culpa didn't come down in time. Terry Collins will come out and we'll see if he challenges.
Now watch the base running. So you come inside the line. Marlin could have come in a little more. You want to get in the way of the throw from the first baseman. And that's what forced Lucas to make the high throw. That's the one part of Lucas's game at first that he hasn't perfected yet. And that's when we showed you earlier the sidearm throw from Howard. You throw that sinker around the runner.
No challenge by the Mets. It'll be an error charge to Duda. And just like in the 5th inning, the Phillies have Bird and Sizemore aboard with nobody out. This time, though, DeGrom's at 99 pitches, and the bullpen's getting ready as Dan Worthington visits the mound. And there you see why the Mets did not challenge. Bird clearly had his foot on the bag before Flores came down.
You know, it's those little things that it's hard for us to illustrate how difficult it is when the base runner knows what he's doing. Bird runs inside, but not only that, stays up long enough.
Now, as a first baseman here, you don't have to throw directly to the bag. Look where Flores is. He's giving you properly a whole 3 feet inside the infield side of second base, and he's got an arm to extend. So you can throw 5 feet, 6 feet to the left of the runner, and you take the runner completely out of the play.
Here's Ruiz, first and second, nobody out. 0 for 2 tonight, up there to bunt, pops it up, and Darno snags it. There's a big first down for DeGrom. So Chooch asked to bunt, unable to get it down. 1 out.
You're going to ask Chooch to bunt with the 8th and 9th place hitter coming up?
Have to assume they would bat for Buchanan in that situation.
But you look at Chooch's numbers.
Chooch is one of your best hitters in that lineup.
He's only driven in 22 runs this year.
Then
ouch.
You might know better.
Hitting .353 against the Mets this year, though. They'll certainly take it. Now it's Ashe, who's walked and struck out tonight, 0 for 1. And he lines one over short. That's a base hit. Around third comes Bird, charging it hard. Dendecker, the throw to the plate, not in time, and the Phillies tie the game. Though Bird read it well as Flores climbed the ladder, and it just went over his glove. And Bird scores from second with the Phillies' first run to tie the game at 1.
Well, ironically, both base hits that account for both runs are soft line drives over the shortstop's head. Just similar plays.
It's interesting on those plays because the left-handed hitter's up. Flores has got to hold the runner on.
Right.
He's 2 steps in more than he usually would be, and that was enough.
Right. Well, Bird took a big. He got a good read on it. He's a veteran. He knows how to play a game.
So the game is tied. Now Dominic Brown comes up to pinch hit for Buchanan. 2 on and 1 out. Brown 4 for 18 as a pinch hitter this year, hitting just .229 overall, and DeGrom misses up and away. You know, this was the inning that bedeviled DeGrom against the Phillies the first time he faced them. He threw 6 scoreless innings. Then Howard hit a 3-run homer in the 7th. Here's 6 scoreless innings. Duda's error opened the door, and the Phillies have stormed through to tie. Now the comebacker, and DeGrom fields it beautifully, and Flores turns the 1-6-3. From the former shortstop to the current shortstop, great stop by DeGrom to limit the damage in the 7th. Stretch time tied at 1. Verizon. Create, share, and save every Mets moment all season long with the latest devices and accessories from Verizon, America's largest and most reliable network.
I'll tell you what.
Stay on top of all things Jets as they get ready to start the 2014 season with a constant flow of up-to-the-minute news and opinion, plus fan discussions, player profiles, and exclusive video on Jets Blog, featured on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. Here's our Verizon trivia question for tonight. Which three players hit the most home runs for the Phillies in the 1980s?
Had two of them.
Jake Diekman comes on in relief for Philadelphia.
Well, Diekman, his ERA is a little high because he set some blow-up innings, but he leads all National League relievers with those 89 Ks.
In just 62 innings, Travis d'Arnaud, who drove in the only Met run, leads off for the Mets in the 7th. So David Buchanan off the hook. He threw just 64 pitches in 6 innings. Allowed a run on 4 hits, a walk, 3 strikeouts. The run against Jacob deGrom unearned in the top of the 7th. Each team with a run and 4 hits. What's he saying, Ronnie?
I don't know. Just trying to stay positive. You know, when you are in a 1-0 game, you give up a run to tie it. You're feeling down. But maybe, you know, with the way the batting order is here, 5, 6, 7, you know, you're going to be out there again.
You know, Ronnie, you made the comment earlier about facing another pitcher who's on his game. But what about the overall feeling as a starting pitcher when you're on a team that's really challenged to score runs? It's got to be wearing on you game after game when you know if you give up a run or two, it might be enough to beat you.
You know, what you have to do, Gary, and it's very, very difficult. You ask a great question. What you have to do is you got to block that out. You really do. You can't be weak-minded and think like that. You really have to be positive, and you know the guys are really going to get it going today. You can't think that way because that's just weak-minded. You got to be strong-minded that the guys have it today. I'm going to have it, and they're going to have it.
d'Arnaud lifts one to right. Here comes Bird. And in fair territory, he's got it. 1 out.
And Gary, you'll trick yourself into saying, hey, you know what? We're struggling so far against this guy, then I've got to keep it here. I got to keep it close, and they're going to break out. You do that stuff all the time. You can't go the other way. I've played with pitchers that go the other way, and it's just defeatist, and those are the guys that don't last too long.
Here's Dendecker, who's walked and flied out tonight, 0 for 1. Keith, when Dendecker first came up, he was really locked in.
Yes.
And right now, 1 for his last 16. What's been the difference that you've seen?
He's been too quick. He's been flying his shoulder open a little bit and rolling over, pulling a little bit too much. And it happened pretty quick when he's a gap-to-gap hitter. And in Philly, when he got off hot, he was using the gaps, and now he's kind of gotten a little out in front, starting too quick and pulling too much.
That being said, this is a tough test here. This guy, when he's on, is unhittable.
Diekman, I like. He's a hard thrower. He throws bullets, big, tall guy, and just wild enough.
Phillies bullpen has gotten better and better with the emergence of Diekman and Ken Giles. Mario Hollins as well. They've all of a sudden, as the Mets did this year, rebuilt their bullpen on the fly.
And Papelbon's had a good year.
Speaking of the Mets bullpen, there's Jerry's Familia, who's been such a plus for the Mets this season. Dendecker lays off the slider, 2-2.
I shouldn't say that Papelbon has a good year every year, but you didn't know if he was going to be here all year. That's the difference.
Two and two to Dendecker with 1 out, and Matt takes a fastball that just missed. 98 miles an hour, 3-2.
To me, when I watch Diekman throw, he's a little bit like Chris Sale for the Chicago White Sox. He throws 3/4 and throws at 95 plus.
And Dendecker works out a walk. It's a nice job by Dendecker. Second time he's walked tonight, and the Mets have the lead run aboard with Dilson Herrera coming up. Third big league at bat for Herrera, who's bounded into a double play and struck out.
See that big breath. Gulp of air before he came up to the plate.
Now that takes a deep breath.
It's got the vanilla and the chocolate there. Can't lose.
It's got
20-year-old Dilson Herrera making his major league debut tonight. Becomes the youngest player currently in the major leagues.
He looks a lot heavier than 150. I think he's a little more solid than that.
Kevin had a report where the scouts said he was something like 170, 175.
Yeah, he's solid. Look at him.
Probably when he first signed, he was 150 pounds, and that stayed in his profile.
I remember those days. My A balls listed at 170. Those days are gone.
Dendecker at first and 1 out. 0-2 to Herrera. And the backdoor breaking ball misses. That would be a great promotion, wouldn't it? Guess Keith's weight.
No, we're not going there. Well, at least you didn't do it back in 2010 when I was 260. Well, you could have put me up with Roger Brown and Deacon Jones in the front fearsome foursome.
You know,
Roger Brown.
Necessity is the mother of weight loss. 1-2 to Herrera. And he takes low and away at 99 from Diekman. 2-2.
So all the young viewers out there, the LA Rams had a defensive front line of called the fearsome foursome. Roosevelt Greer, Merlin Olsen,
Lamar Lundy.
Oh, yes. Deacon Jones, I said.
Line caught by Utley, trying to get back Dendecker, and he is safe. I don't know why Matt didn't slide, but he made it back safely anyway. So Herrera hit hard, but Utley able to make the grab for the second out.
Oh, that was double written all over it. That might have gone to the gap and scored Dendecker with his speed. Unfortunate. Like the swing, folks.
So now 2 out. Dendecker still at first, and here's Wilmer Flores, who's hit the ball hard twice tonight. Bird made a diving catch to rob him in the third, and then he hit one off the third base bag for a double in the fifth. There goes Dendecker. Ruiz's throw, not in time. Dendecker's 4th stolen base.
Easily.
Well, I'm always surprised when I do my scorebook and I see that Ruiz is around 20% throwing out runners, because I always assume he's better than that. But Diekman did not have a good move to first, and Dendecker took advantage of it.
So much of that is on the pitchers.
Yeah.
So now Flores with the go-ahead run in scoring position. An 0-1 count. And Wilmer tries to skip out of the way and hit him, and he'll go to first base. So Flores is aboard, and now Eric Campbell will come up to pinch hit with 2 men on.
And out goes Bob McClure, pitching coach.
So McClure coming out, I'm sure, with the scouting report on Campbell, who will bat for DeGrom. So DeGrom's only chance to get a win, well, if Campbell can come through here.
You got Neuenhuis and Young on the left side of the bench for the Mets. I would not want to pitch to Eric Campbell. He's been an outstanding pinch hitter. He's a good line drive hitter. Then again, you can't. Well, you're supposed to look ahead here, so this is a good matchup right here for the Mets.
Nobody up in the bullpen for the Phils. This inning belongs to Diekman. Den Decker at second. He walked and stole a bag. Flores at first. He was hit by a pitch. Campbell 7 for 18 as a pinch hitter, looking to get the Mets the lead in the bottom of the 7th.
What do you do after you hit someone? You're trying to throw the next ball for a strike to get ahead. Jump all over it if you're Campbell.
Well outside. Ball 1.
Boy, you know, when you're in this situation too, Gary, you got your pitcher out there, starting pitcher. You want to get a base hit. You want to get him a W. He's pitched so well.
Juan Lagares would be next. 1-0 from Diekman. Well, maybe the other thing that happens after you hit a batter is that you throw it well off the other side of the plate.
Well, that's his issue, is that his control is not good. This is Keith was saying, he's conveniently wild.
And now you're 2-0. You're looking at it for a fastball. Make him get it down. He's missed wildly away twice. You're just going right up the middle.
2-0 to Campbell. And he takes a strike. Phillies have a right-hander up in their bullpen now with Juan Lagares on deck. Justin DeFreitas getting himself ready. Two 2-1 coming. In tight. And now it's a 3-1 count to Campbell. Diekman has already walked a batter and hit a batter in the inning.
This is the equivalent of the 2-0 pitch, Ronnie. 3-1 and 2-0 are equivalent.
And Campbell gets a 3-1 breaking ball. That was unexpected.
Unexpected and a good one.
So now the runners will be in motion. Den Decker at second. Flores at first will be running. 3-2 to Campbell with 2 out. Ball 4 and the bases are loaded. So 2 walks sandwiched around a hit by pitch. And the Mets have the bases loaded, 2 out. Lagares coming up. They have a right-hander. DeFreitas throwing in the bullpen. We'll see if Ryan Sandberg is going to make the move. And here he comes. So Diekman, for all the 98 and 99 mile-an-hour pitches, unable to find his way through this 7th inning. And they'll bring in DeFreitas to face Lagares with the bases loaded. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. 1-1 game in the 7th. We'll be right back. huge out.
Well, listen, he doesn't walk anybody, but if you go back to last year, check these numbers out. Left-handed hitters are hitting against him last 73 appearances. Left-handed hitters, 175. Right-handed hitters, 262.
Comes into face
upside down.
Lagares with Dendecker at third, Flores at second, Campbell at first, and 2 out. Lagares 1 for 3 tonight. Jake Diekman unable to get through the 7th, leaves it in the hands of DeFreitas. Lagares 1 for 6 in his career against this right-hander. And Juan takes a slider inside for ball 1. That's with the bases loaded, hitting just 188. 3 grand slams this year. 2 by players who aren't here. And 1 by Wilmer Flores in Philadelphia. The other 2 by Ike Davis and Taylor Teagarden. Too high, and DeFreitas, who, as Ronnie said, never walks anybody, is quickly behind 2-0 with the bases full.
You got the pitcher right behind the 8 ball right now. The pressure's on the pitcher.
They quickly get the lefty up in the bullpen. Looks like Bastardo is throwing. But now Lagares in the driver's seat, 2-0 with the bases full. And he pops it up. On comes Sizemore. Drops the ball! 2 runs are in. Campbell will stop at third. And the Mets lead it 3-1.
Oh, wow.
Grady Sizemore just flat out dropped a fly ball.
Oh, my word. 2 hands, folks. I'll always say it. I know the gloves are big. All you kids are enormous, and your major leaguers are doing it, and that's why you don't do it. He'll make that play, I'll say, 499 times out of 500. And guess what? It's going to happen when the game's on the line. And Campbell's the guy to watch.
He should have scored here. He should have scored, and Tuffle told him to go, and he stopped.
I wasn't emphatic enough there.
And I might add, Lagares should be at second base, and he's only at first. So it wasn't great base running by any means, but the Mets get a huge gift.
DeGrom will take it.
Oh my gosh, yes. Wilson.
Granderson is 0 for 3. First and third and 2 out. 2 runs in on the drop fly ball. And DeFreitas gets ahead on Granderson 0-2.
Isn't it crazy? Baseball 2-0 count. He throws ball 3. Lagares swings at it and pops it up. And he get 2 runs.
Well, give DeGrom a chance to be a winning pitcher tonight if the bullpen can get him 6 outs.
Wow.
0-2 coming. There goes Lagares. The throw by Ruiz. Heading for the plate now. Campbell. And Campbell dives in. Safe. The Mets pull off the delayed double steal when they lead it 4-1. Campbell steals home.
Good pitch to throw from Chooch. And the all-important one here is watching Campbell's jump, and he is clearly safe.
So 3 runs are in. Lagares at second, and Granderson takes outside 2-2.
And he snuck it in there, did he not? We'll see what Campbell does here on the throw. He just broke. Very good.
By the way, Ruiz was blocking the plate before he had the ball, which is a moot point, but that's the way it goes. 2-2 coming. Granderson grounds one to Utley. And the side retired, but the Mets get 3 unearned runs. They load them up without a hit, and they score 3 after Grady Sizemore flat out drops a fly ball with the bases loaded. The big error gives the Mets 3 runs and a 4-1 lead after 7. back to him, and Campbell able to steal home.
Well, is he blocking the plate? It's moot, as you mentioned, Gare, but nice little head first slide, which I would not recommend. You'd rather do a hook slide.
Now, did Rollins have a play on Lagares?
I thought he had a play on Lagares. He could have stayed there, waited for the ball, and applied the tag, but I don't question him coming to the plate. You know, at the place in front of him, he's had so much experience out there. He thought he just had to have a perfect throw and had to be low. You know, the other thing, Ruiz had one more choice. He could have faked to second base, and you had Campbell dead as a duck at third base.
Correct.
Only Campbell's second career stolen base, and it's a steal of home on the back end of a double steal.
Well done.
So the Mets score 3 unearned runs without a hit and lead 4-1 and hand it off to Jeurys Familia for the 8th inning.
Well, you Mets fans have been watching him. There's no need to even talk about his numbers. He has just been outstanding and having just a great rookie year.
Last time out Tuesday night against the Braves, got 4 outs, final out of the 7th, and then pitched the 8th as well in a 3-2 Met win. Top of the batting order, Ben Revere takes a fastball for a strike.
Oh, that's a little hair on that fastball.
I haven't heard that in a while.
That was a scaldy.
Well, the last outing, he went with a 4-seam fastball more than the 2-seam fastball.
Oh, there you go. That's just wild enough. When you're throwing 97, that gets your attention. He's coming out of the chute, bringing it.
Ariel Hollins up in the Phillies bullpen. Well, meanwhile, Jacob deGrom now in position to be a winning pitcher tonight. He did not allow an earned run tonight. 7 innings, 4 hits, an unearned run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. So deGrom lowered his season's ERA to 2.94. He is certainly in the conversation for National League Rookie of the Year, and frankly, so should he be.
I agree.
Nobody's talked about Familia as a Rookie of the Year candidate, but I'm not sure why not.
14 holds and 4 saves. I know the holds is. We can have a whole different argument about that.
Well, it's a silly stat, but
it is a stat.
But it's a stat, so.
Some quality start used to be a silly stat too until it wasn't.
Right. But I think if you look at Familia's overall body of work, his whip, his home run numbers, just the overall dominance in a down year for National League rookies, he's in the conversation.
And I think we're talking about Cole's statistics, but he's pitching in pressure situations too. So he's come into this bridge role where he's in tight ball games all the time and putting up these kind of numbers.
Three and 2 to Revere, who's been up 3 times and grounded out all 3. And he bangs one off his leg, a foul ball. Revere doesn't walk much. He doesn't strike out much.
But he can sure foul off some balls off his feet. He gets those dogs barking.
Both of his feet are in the air, so it's like a moving target when he hits himself. I don't think I've ever seen anyone hit with both feet in the air.
Well, he hit the ball off the bottom of his foot, didn't he? Didn't hit the underside of his foot.
It's better on the underside.
Well, sure. It's off his spikes.
Usually hard to do.
You have to be in the air. Again, the 3-2 from Familia, and Revere lines one to left, and right there is Dendecker to grab it. 1 out. Let's check in with the studio. CJ Papa has another game break brought to you by the New York State Smokers Quit Line. All right, CJ, here's Jimmy Rollins, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Struck out, hit a comebacker, flied out against deGrom. Now facing Familia with 1 out and nobody on in the 8th. And takes a strike. Eric Campbell stealing home for the 4th Met run. The last Met to steal home before tonight was Jason Pridey. 2011 against the Astros, also part of a double steal. That was with Jose Reyes stealing second. Grounded down to first, and Duda handles it. for the second out.
I always want to get out of my seat because you're so used to, as a pitcher, hearing the catcher yell over on a play like that, that my first inclination, like Pavlov's dog, is to kind of get up and go.
Ronnie, you're retired. Relax. Nicely done. I like those voice commands.
What happens if we ring a bell?
Oh, some whole other things happen.
So if I leave the room, go maybe relieve myself, and I come back, you might think I'm trying to pull you, take you out of your start or something.
Here's Chase Utley, 1 for 3 tonight, singled through the hole into right his last time up, and takes a knee-high strike from Familia.
If you're leaving to do that, I'm staying. By the way.
Our next SNY telecast will be the final game of this series Sunday afternoon. Our coverage beginning at 12:30. Tomorrow night's game on Pix 11, a 7 o'clock start. Quick pitch by Familia on the inside corner as he pulls the LaTroy and gets ahead 0-2. It's going to be forever the designation for that quick pitch that LaTroy Hawkins taught to all the Mets relievers. Utley strokes one to left center, and that's down for a base hit. Lagares barehands it and gets it in quickly to hold Utley to a single.
Well, when you got a hitter like Utley and you're ahead 0-2, he's such a tough strikeout, such a good hitter, that he's going to go up the middle, and he's going to be most vulnerable inside. And I really think 0-2 ahead in the count, you're really doing him a favor by pitching out there.
That was a classic case of fool me once with the quick pitch. You're not going to fool me twice.
So Utley has his second hit, and the Phillies' fifth. By the way, Lagares, not too many outfielders are going to do that.
And I'd recommend he doesn't do that either. But
I agree.
Here's Ryan Howard with 2 out and a runner at first. Howard 0 for 3 tonight, grounded out, flied out to call third strike.
You know, Keith was talking about Sizemore not catching with 2 hands. All it takes is one tie game, and you make that move, and you don't catch it, and the guy goes to second, and the next thing you know, you lose the ball game. So, you know, those are habits you just rather not have.
Right. But you can kind of understand it. I mean, if you are Juan Lagares and making every play the way he has, as this one set out to left for Dendecker, maybe get a little bored out there and you feel like you'd like to do something a little more challenging. Dendecker makes a friend, almost starts a riot. Familia pitches a scoreless 8th, and it's 4-1 Mets. Home eighth inning, Justin DeFreitas, who was victimized by the drop fly by Grady Sizemore. That scored 3 runs, all unearned in that 7th inning to take the lead. DeFreitas stays on to pitch the 8th. David Wright leads off. David 1 for 3, scored the first Med run in the 4th, and he takes a knee-high fastball for a strike. All 3 of those unearned runs were charged to Jake Diekman in the 7th. He went 2/3 of an inning. Eric Campbell contributed a walk and then stole home on the front end of a double steal.
You know, Diekman's runs might be unearned, but he's complicit in that inning. Hit a batter, walk 2. I mean, put DeFreitas in a position that nothing bad could happen, and something did.
I thought his biggest failing in that inning was when he got ahead of Dendecker.
That's right. Who
has not faced a lot of left-hand pitching in the big leagues, as Wright strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. And he lost Dendecker to a walk, and I thought that was really, it was the beginning of his downfall, really and that's the part that you can't have happen as a left-hander, to allow that kind of hitter to get away. Ryan Sandberg's going to bring in the lefty to face Lucas Duda. He had 2 lefties up a moment ago. Both Bastardo and Hollins were up, and one of them is coming in. Looks like it's going to be Mario Hollins. Pitching change brought to you by Wise. We'll be right back to Citi Field.
God put on this earth to terrorize hitters. It was just so brilliant. It's like one of those amazing comets, you know. It's just too hot to last long enough.
A couple of scenes from the really terrific documentary on Doc Gooden's life and times, The Good Doctor. It'll air Monday at 9:30 right here on SNY.
It is wonderful.
Mario Hollins comes in to pitch for the Phillies.
You know, his ERA has really jumped up. His first 32 appearances were outstanding. His last 16, his ERA's almost been 9. But he's been impressive against the Mets all season long.
He's another guy. He doesn't throw as hard as Diekman, but another guy can make you look bad on 3 pitches or be all over the place.
Duda is 0 for 3 tonight, just 1 for 14 on this homestand. This is the guy now in the Mets lineup who gets the special attention in those pregame meetings.
Yes. And Gary, you and I had a chance to meet Lucas's parents in L.A. and his sister.
Gets jammed and pops one up for Ashe. And that's the second out. I mentioned on the air the other night, Keith, the fact that his parents they do talk.
Yes.
So it's not a family-wide phenomenon. Some of our Toyota tweets of the game. What changes you'd make in the replay system? That's interesting. That's a good call.
Yeah,
Leaving the dugout means that you have to challenge. Take the managers out of it. And how about one more? 1 minute limit for review. More than that, there's not conclusive evidence. Well,
okay.
It's an all interesting comments.
Yes.
Travis d'Arnaud bats with 2 out and nobody on. Travis drove in the first Met run with a base hit in the 4th. To me, what's going to be interesting is what they're actually going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, there are going to be some tweaks, but the question is, will they blow it up and start again, or will they just tweak at the edges? Past the mound, Rollins coming in, throws out d'Arnaud, side retired. So Hollins comes in, gets his 2 men, and that sends us off to the 9th to Mejia land with the Mets up 4-1. Is brought to you by Astoria Bank. By Ford. For great deals on Ford cars, trucks, SUVs, and crossovers, visit tristateford.com. And by Cure Auto Insurance. Rates should be based on how you drive, not your credit score. Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well. 9th inning. Henry Mejia will bid for his 20th save of the year.
Well, Henry's numbers have been very good, but he had a couple of stumbles there, and I was saying to some folks who said Mejia's the answer, he's the answer, this or that. All closers, you want to judge them when they go through that little speed bump and how they come out of it. And Mejia seems to have come out of it now.
Marlon Byrd, who's been on base twice tonight, leads off in the 9th inning. Marlon 1 for 2 and a walk. He scored the only Philadelphia run. And Mejia fires a fastball for a strike. Jerry's Familia worked a scoreless 8th after Jacob deGrom went 7 and allowed an unearned run on 4 hits. deGrom in line for his 7th win of the year. Bird, Sizemore, and Ruiz due up for the Phillies in the 9th. And a check swing. He run around. 0-2. Well, the nice thing about the Mets bullpen situation, as you look at Sizemore on deck, is that next spring you'll have a host of candidates, all of whom will be qualified. Mejia will be the incumbent. Bird down on 3 pitches to start the 9th inning. Familia has certainly earned a shot. So has Vic Black, and of course it was Bobby Parnell's job until he got hurt. He'll be coming back.
This cutter is up. So we've seen Marlon Bird that pitch up with 2 strikes usually works. Although he did have a single off DeGrom on an 0-2 pitch up, but misses this cutter.
1 out and nobody on. Now Grady Sizemore. Sizemore had the first Phillies hit tonight. It came with nobody out in the 5th. Sizemore 1 for 3. And takes a curveball for a strike. Let's answer our Verizon trivia question. We asked who are the 3 Philly players with the most home runs in the 1980s. Mike Schmidt far out in front, then Von Hayes, and then the one-time Met Juan Samuel. Von Hayes did not get all of those home runs in the 26-7 game.
Just most of them. That was the single greatest inning I've ever seen a hitter had. He led off the game with a home run and hit a grand slam as the lineup and inning turned over. Not turned over inning, but still in the 1st.
It wasn't quite the Fernando Tatis against Chan-Ho Park inning.
Yeah.
But close. Tonight after the post game, it's Geico Sports Night. Garrett Burke will be in the chair. Eli Manning. Garrett's not optimistic.
Or Eli's not.
One of those. 1-2 to Sizemore. Low and away. 2-2.
I thought it was interesting when it first when they first started working together, Eli and the offensive coordinator, that he was having a hard time. Eli, of course, from New Orleans, and the offensive coordinators from Western PA. And you know, Western PA has that unique kind of accent, and so does New Orleans. And they were having trouble just understanding basic English.
English, yeah. It's what do they call the Americans and the British? 2 people separated by a common language.
That's right.
Same kind of thing. 2-2 coming. Curveball. Herrera to his left, and he boots it. And Sizemore is aboard. First major league error for Dilson Herrera.
This is the one thing that I don't like when you play deep. You don't want to let the cut of the grass become the play. He could still stay on the dirt because he started on the dirt and get this ball. And then you take away the cut in the grass, and that's what happened. Got a bad hop there.
So Herrera in his big league debut, 0 for 3 at the plate, and now his first error.
But excuse me, you Met fans, I like the swing. I like what I saw today with the stick.
It's nerves too, right? Trying to finish off a game in the 9th inning, playing second base. Not the same thing as finishing it off in Binghamton or Richmond. On and on.
So the Phillies need one more base runner to get the tying run to the plate here in the 9th. Carlos Ruiz has had a rough night at the plate. Grounded out, struck out, fouled out trying to bunt in the 7th inning. One out and one on. And the slider on the corner for a strike. 1-1. Mets have made 2 errors. The Phillies have made 1, but the one Philly error by Sizemore much greater.
Was devastating.
2 out, bases loaded, drop fly ball, led to 3 runs. Below the knees, 2-1 to Ruiz with Cody Ashe on deck. Three and 1. So all of a sudden it's getting a little dicier for Mejia. Came in with a 3-run lead. Those are the layup saves.
Well,
sometimes layups get missed.
The old rule here is a walk is a cardinal sin. A 2-run home run does not impact, well, it impacts the game, but it doesn't beat you.
Well, the net is the same. It gets the tying run to the plate either way. 3-1 to Ruiz. There's a strike. Ruiz thought it might be ball 4, but Mejia got the call.
That's a fortunate call there. The reason I say that, when you throw a bad breaking ball inside, there used to be a time you do not get that call, but we've seen it called more often than not now.
Sizemore at first and 1 out. 3-2 to Ruiz. Strike 3 call. Well, he got the breaking ball on the inside corner, then the fastball on the inside corner. 2 down in the 9th.
Blocked him up inside. Beautiful pitch with 2 strikes, RJ.
Now this was a good pitch. That cutter inside, right on the corner, pure. Overhead view, catches lots of the plate.
So the Phillies are down to their final out. And now Cody Ashe, who drove in the only Philadelphia run with a base hit to left center in the 7th, and takes the breaking ball outside for ball 1. If Ashe can keep it alive, power hitting Darren Ruff has come out on deck to pinch hit. Due to playing behind Sizemore at first. And Ashe takes a strike at the knees, 1-1. Final in Pittsburgh. The Pirates won again. They beat the Reds 2-1. Pittsburgh 3.5 out now in that Central. There goes Sizemore. The Mets let him go as Ashe takes a second strike, and the Phillies are down to their final strike. Defensive indifference, moving Sizemore to second. One, 2. And the curveball balloons 2-2. Cardinals with Yadier Molina back in the lineup lead the Cubs 2-1 in the 5th. Milwaukee plays later in San Francisco. 2-2 to Cody Ashe. And Mejia and d'Arnaud need another round of signs. Now the 2-2. And this is away. Full count. Well, same thing applies. You can't walk him. You just can't. You get that tying run to back.
Especially with Ruff on deck.
Ruff is ready. Three-2 for Mejia. And Ashe stays alive. 3-2 breaking ball from Henry.
Aaron Ruff is their right-handed Lucas Duda, mountain of a young man.
Three and 2 to Ashe. He struck him out, and the ball game is over. Mejia strikes out 3 in the 9th to save it for Jacob deGrom. The Mets get 3 unearned runs as the result of Grady Sizemore's drop fly ball, and it helps the Mets to another victory over the Phillies, their 12th in 17 games over Philadelphia this year, as the Mets win 4-1.
Well, it's got to feel good for Dilson Herrera in his first game as a 20-year-old here. For Terry Collins' crew, they get a win. deGrom was outstanding. He gets back on a roll. Kind of a sloppy game with only 9 hits and 3 errors. But the Mets will take sloppy when it's a win.
Agreed. The offense hasn't been there, but the Mets made more errors in this game. 2 to Phillies 1. But as Gary mentioned, The one dropped fly ball with the bases loaded was a big one, and a nice double steal with good base running by Campbell on third. Scored the 4th run.
Mets have scored just 10 runs in their last 4 games, but they've won 2 of those 4 because of some fine pitching. The game summary presented by Pepsi. DeGrom lowered his ERA to 2.94, gets his 7th win of the season, and the Mets score 3 runs.